This video is going to show you understanding correlation. Correlation is basically a relationship between two variables. They must be independent of each other. Okay? So in this example, we're using home runs versus batting average. They're completely different. You can't do home runs versus home runs. Our data will show home runs versus home runs, but they have to be independent, which means they have to be different. Okay? Okay. Coffee and I'm drawing a blank on another example. Okay. Boys versus girls in something, or it has to be actually a number that is different from each other. Okay. It is reported in a way that we are looking at basically a number line, different than the number line you had in math. It has a 0 point in the middle, and this side is a +1, and this side is a -1. This side is a -1, and this side is a +1. Okay? Different than a regular number line that you would see in your elementary school class. Each of these two sides on the other side of the 0 are equally the same. The thing is, it cannot be lower than a -1, and it can be never higher than a +1. If we understand this portion of the project, then what happens is, as the correlation happens, you are going to get a strength, you are going to get a direction. Okay? The +1 to +1 to -1 is your direction. The strength is where it is on this number line. This 0 means there's absolutely no correlation. Over here you have a perfect correlation and a perfect correlation. Those are perfect. These are perfect. This is no correlation. And you get a better picture of this by the time we're done with this video. Okay? So if I have a number of 0.522 and I have a number of 0.522, but this one is negative. Okay? How do you get to this? Well, it's all in the data. Okay? As you look at these two numbers, they're exactly the same. Okay? There's no difference between the two. The only difference is how, when a statistician looks at it, they'll be able to tell the direction of it. The number itself gives you the strength. Okay? So the number itself, so if I have 0.3, 0.5, 0.7, so between 0.0 and 3, it could be mild or slight. If I have a 5, okay, that's going to be moderate. Okay, if I have anything around a 7 or above a 7, that's going to be a high. Okay, it's all the strength. So as it goes up, you'll see it goes from slight, moderate to high. The number 522 would fall into the moderate category. So at this point, we have a moderate. Now, how do we get the direction? Well, it's real simple. If it's heading toward the +1, it's a positive. If it's going to the negative, it's a negative. So it's a moderate. Either if I've got this number right over here, it's a negative. If I have this one, it's a positive. So we'll take the positive. So we're going to get rid of the negative. So it's a moderate positive correlation, period. Okay? So to recap, think of the number line and where your number lines up in the number line. You're going to use these three numbers to give you this first word. You're going to give if there's no plus, or if there's a negative, that's what you're going to give in the middle. And the last word, of course, is correlation. Okay, so anywhere on this line, if it is a 0, there's no correlation. This will really come together if you can understand this part when we get to the next section, which is the scatter plot, when you can visually see it. It's not just an abstract number, but it's visually seen. I'm going to go through this real quick. This is what a correlation matrix is called. It's a matrix. Okay, you can see the lines in here. Each of these boxes have their own, and we're going to go over each of the separate boxes in the next couple slides. These are the words, okay, and these are the variables: home run and batting average. So we're going to talk a little bit about the actual variables. These variables are home run and batting average, and you can see them set up this way. In here are boxes set up. Okay, we're just going to make those boxes. Home runs to home runs. And then you got home runs to batting average. Batting average to home runs. And then you got batting average to batting average. These are like dividing them into themselves. Now these center boxes right here, again, these are your variables. Okay, Pearson correlation, or you'll see the letter R here. Okay, this is the little R that is italicized. When you write everything up when you're talking about correlation, it's going to be R, and that's italicized, equals, and then there's a 3-digit number. Okay, the significance, this is the p-value. It's either going to be above 0.05 or below 0.05. Significance. Make sure you watch the p-value video to kind of understand this. Okay, the N is the total number of participants. So a big N equals the total number of participants. A little n is the subset. What does that mean? So if I have 30 participants in the study, the subset would be as if I have 15 male and 15 female. This means it's broken down. Okay, so this is how this box works. This is your